My granddad moved to Amarillo around the turn of the century. He had a mercantile store at Channing, and I think he decided there was more future in Amarillo, and it was his best decision.
My mother knew that there were jobs in Amarillo. She was a domestic worker, and the word was out that there was lots of work in Amarillo. So when school was out in June of 1937, she told Mr. Charles we're going to be moving to Amarillo. So that's when we came.
I was just 6 months old when I come to Amarillo. So my dad come here to work.
My parents used to follow the cotton harvest, and here was a stepping stool from here to Clarendon and Memphis, Texas. So we stopped here, and for some reason or another, we stayed here. We stayed here in Amarillo.
When we came, if I remember correctly, this was a town of about 30-some thousand people. Small town, and I shall never forget the first time I saw Polk Street.
Well, it's just changed from the grade. It's gone from small to large. I've watched many changes.
Route 66, when they moved it really changed Amarillo.
It just changed the pattern of Amarillo. At the time, I couldn't figure how they could abandon Northeast 8th, and yet it's worked out very well.
It's difficult to imagine what the Civic Center used to look like. There was one building down there, and of course it was a much smaller town then, and it would accommodate the people. But when they started expanding all the way up to West 3rd Street or East 3rd Street, it's just difficult to imagine what that part of town used to look like.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of growth. I've seen Amarillo really grow from what a small city to what it is now.
And I was 19 when I finished and got a job with Amarillo Public Schools at Dwight Morrow School, which is no longer, it's now Region 16, but it was right down my alley because I could speak Spanish, thinking, this is great, I can work with little Spanish-speaking children. But in those days, we were not allowed to speak Spanish to the children in school. They were punished if they spoke Spanish. So it was until 1969 that the law changed. But by then I was married and had 3 children of my own. And Amarillo was just a good place to live and raise our children.
Oh, Amarillo has not changed a lot. It's just grown. As a little town, the people, the natives of Amarillo, the people who were born here, had a great desire to do the right thing for the community.
It's a lot more open. More people are able to have the services that some of the children I work with were kind of not able to do so. I know my husband said that when he was growing up, Hispanic children were not allowed to go to the swimming pools and the big movie theaters, and that's a big change. I think people are more globally thinkers than they used to be, and which is good. There's a lot more opportunities now for everybody.
Today I see a lot of my people in important places. I see a lot of Hispanics in working everywhere. And I guess the big change has been education.
There's something about the spirit of the people in the Panhandle that's different than it was in Missouri where I grew up, or in New York where I went to school. And you could feel it. I could feel it when I came here. The atmosphere in Texas was different. The people here were interested in their kids. They wanted them to have music, and they wanted them to have art. They wanted them to play games. They wanted them to be involved.
Well, Amarillo has been very good to me. I would be classified as one of the underprivileged children of Amarillo, which exposed me to Cal Farley, Ralph Dykeman, and the Maverick Boys Club. So that was the greatest thing that's probably happened to me in my childhood. Without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
My friends, my church activities, and just the friends that I have accumulated. Those are very fond memories, especially when I go back to school here in Amarillo.
When they run these tests on, you know, what your house is worth and what your how much taxes you pay, and all of these criteria that they use to designate what a good place to live is, Amarillo is high on the circuit. And I think it's inherited from the people who came here in the covered wagons and drove the cattle back in the early days.
It's real exciting to me because I feel one day Amarillo is really going to be a large city.